Hello, welcome in. So they're coming here. So I'm going to do a collective reading. And we will be doing all the zodiac signs today. I hope you guys can hear the music. Kind of bring the computer closer. You know, I also wanted to bring up the chat so I can see the comments. Welcome in, welcome in. So I'm about to do a collective reading for you guys. Thank you for coming to the live today. I'm just getting my oracle deck out here. Okay. So we're going to do all the zodiac signs today. We're going to start with a collective reading. So I'm going to pull an oracle card for you so we can get a little look at the overall energy of the collective at this time. Thank you for coming in. Please give me a like, share, or subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate that. I'm trying to build a community here. One subscriber at a time. So we have air spirit. I want to pull this card too. We have dragon energy with power. And you know what's funny? Is I was actually going through my decks, I don't have these organized great, so I don't know like what decks are in each one. So I was trying to find my extra wider weight Smith deck, and so I was going through all those trying to find it, and I found the dragon deck, and something just said use the dragon deck. So now we pulled the dragon card. So I feel like there's something about dragon energy that is important here. It's a master number 11. This is about new beginnings. We also have air spirit with knowledge. So you may be getting some downloads from your dragon spirit, and the air spirit card is number 1. So together that's 111. So definitely new beginnings. Definitely, I think the collective very shortly is going to be learning new things. I think there's new information that's going to be getting uncovered to the collective. I just feel that even outside of tarot, I feel that in my bones. My bones are saying it. So let's see what energy we have for the collective from the tarot. And again, we're going to be using the dragon deck today. And all of my tarot decks, I haven't done deck reviews on all my oracle decks yet, but all of my tarot decks are up on the channel. So if you're interested, if you're a tarot reader, you just like tarot cards or something like that, you can check out my tarot decks that I own on my channel, and I will be doing the oracle decks as well, but that's not my main priority right now, especially since I have a full year of tarot decks already uploading to the channel, so I'll probably be waiting. So this is the dragon deck. Get centered a little bit. Ooh, cards are flying out for you. For the collective, I should say. Okay, so let's see what knowledge is going to be coming in for us in the collective. Spirit, what knowledge will be coming in for the collective at this time? Okay, we have Sire of Cups. This is King of Cups. So learning how to kind of like own and be the master of our own emotional state. The knowledge that's coming in is going to help us to, you know, we may have like different swings of emotion, because I look at the King of Cups as really kind of learning how to master the full realm, the full range, I should say, of emotional state. So learning what we're triggered by, learning what makes us happy, learning how we want to live as a society, right? These are all collective themes that we're going to be going through. We have the Lovers reverse. So this may have a negative impact on some relationships that we have in our life. I think we're already seeing that with some of the political things that are going on. I think it's really making us reevaluate relationships and stuff like that. On the macro and the micro, you might be finding this in your personal life as well. We have 10 of Pentacles. This is a card of abundance. So I think like people who learn to kind of regulate their emotional state, I feel like we are entering an era where your emotional state, your energetic state, I should say, is going to kind of determine what type of abundance is coming towards you, right? Because abundance just means like a lot of something. It doesn't mean necessarily a lot of something positive. So I think that, you know, like we're going to be learning a lot of information that's going to have an impact on how we feel about things. They may have an impact on relationships. Don't be surprised if if you start to see relationships pulling apart from each other, because there is this split that's going on, and there's this ascension of consciousness that's going on right now. And, you know, people and families, people who have relationships and families aren't necessarily going to ascend to the same level of consciousness, right? Like certain people are going to stay here and certain people are going to ascend, right? Same thing for friendships, families, friendships. It's the same thing for everything. So then we also have death, right? There's going to be the endings of things. You're going to be seeing a lot of endings right now with just like the environment that's going on. 9 of Pentacles, doing a lot of things independently, kind of going in your own direction. I was kind of talking about that with relationships, is that we're falling into these places where we're kind of like stating to the universe what kind of energy do we want to sit in. Do we want to sit in an energy of like lies and deceit? I was just talking about this in another reading because I was getting the 7 of Swords out a lot, and I don't really like that card. I don't like that energy because I don't like the energy of lies and deception. And so people are going to be kind of like deciding what energy they want to sit in. Do they want to sit in an energy of love and compassion and community and all of these things? Or do you want to sit in an energy of like lies and deception and manipulation and all of these things, right? And of course, there's like a whole world in between those two energies. But the independence, building things independently, that comes into play because you may not be able to go on the road, go on this journey with people that you're close to. You might find that you fall out with a lot of relationships because they're kind of choosing to go in a certain direction and you're choosing to go in another direction, right? So I think a lot of people are going to be taking this journey independently right now. That's what's going on right now. And I think that eventually we're going to get a place. This is like my feeling, at least. I think that eventually we're going to get to a place where people who have ascended to a certain level will start to mingle and build community with each other, right? People who have stayed in a denser level, denser energetic state, they'll start to build community amongst each other, right? So right now what you have is this separation of light and dark energy. And it's happening within families, it's happening within relationships, it's happening on the macro level when we look at politics and everything, what's going on right now. It's reversed. I was talking about dysfunction in families, dysfunction in communities, because right now what's happening is, and it looks very ugly. Yeah, so we have this separation between light and dark energy. A lot of people are going to be taking this journey independently. And that is really, I think that's going to be really hard, right, for a lot of people, because there's a separation between families, between relationships. Like, you know, it's like there's a juggling. I don't know what I want to say. There's a I'm kind of envisioning like musical chairs when the music is playing and everybody's kind of like moving to their chair, and then the music stops playing and everybody's like trying to find a seat, right? That's kind of like what's going on right now. And it's a little chaotic when everybody is running around trying to find a seat, right? But it's also kind of every man for himself. You know what I mean? It's like that energy. Like, I have to find my seat. Too bad, so sad if you don't end up with the seat. Like, that's kind of how musical chairs is. And it's not that, I'm not saying that on the collective we have to be in this cutthroat energy. What I'm saying is we are in an energy where people individually have to choose what energy do they want to sit in. And your son, your daughter, your mom, your dad, your sister, your brother, your best friend, like, everybody individually has to make this decision of what energy they want to sit in. And it's perfectly fine, whatever decision they make about that. That is part of their own life path, their own life journey. But it may not be in alignment with what you choose, right? And, you know, if you want to choose a darker path because you don't want to let go of certain people in your life, that's a choice as well, right? We can choose to stay on a darker path because we don't want to let go of really the ego and identity. Like, and it sounds kind of harsh to like put family in that light, to say that family is ego and identity, but on a spiritual level, it really is. And it doesn't mean that we don't love our family. It doesn't mean that we don't try to act towards them in a loving way, right? Some people have a very loving family and this is not an issue for them, right? I'm just saying out of the whole spectrum, you have people who have no issue with their family going towards the darkness and they're ascending right along with you. And you have other people who have families that, like, they're literally the only one in their family who's choosing to go on a path of light, right? And they have to take that path independently. And like with the death of a dream card here, getting back to that, we may have dreams of what we want our friendship to look like who we want in our friendship circle, who we want in our family circle. Like, we may have very particular ideas about who belongs in our community, and we kind of need to let go of that, right? Because it's not about the external. Like, you don't know who belongs in your community. You don't know the people who are truly choosing the light. Like, all you know is, you know, that's George and he's my next door neighbor, right? Like, whatever. That's my best friend. We've been friends since college, or we've been friends since childhood, or whatever. That's all you know. That's my mom. That's my dad. Those are all external things. It's about what's inside. It's about your energetic state. And that's what's determining which way you're going. Are you going towards the light or are you going towards the dark? Neither path is wrong, quote unquote, like spiritually speaking. Maybe from an earthly level, we would say, well, this path is super dense and like that's wrong, right? But from a spiritual level, neither path is wrong. There's duality in the world. There's duality in the universe. There's spectrums of light from light to dark. And all of these things are meaningful in the universe. They have meaning. But not all of these things are aligned with your personal path. And not every path that people in your life are going to choose to take are in alignment with your personal path. So sometimes you have to take this path independently. So if you are looking, and right now this is happening, like this is happening right now. So if you in your life are seeing that, hey, my mom is going down a darker path and it's making me sad, or my kids are going down a darker path and it's making me sad, or like I just don't have the relationship with the people that I care about in my life the way I want to. You know, the Lover's reverse came out for this collective reading. So there are all of these difficulties in relationships are going to happen because the choice needs to be made on an individual level. It's not on a family unit level. Your whole community of the people that you care about are not always going to choose a path of light. And they're not always going to choose a path of dark, right? So if you're in the path of dark and you're upset because you have this wacky spiritualist in your family, this like crazy spiritualist in your family, and you're like, you know, they're a Looney Tune, they're up in the clouds, I don't understand what's going on with them. Like, that's okay. You're just on a different path, right? You're not meant to understand what's going on with them. You're not in a frequency to understand what's going on with them, right? It's not part of your birth plan or whatever. Or not only not only, you know, the birth plan doesn't determine everything in our lives because we have free will, right? It's like an outline. It's like bullet points of what our life is supposed to look like, but there's free will. You can choose at any time, be like, I'm on this path to darkness. I want to go towards the light. We can make that choice. We can at any time make the choice that I'm on this path of lightness. I want to go towards the dark, right? So when you're on a path of light, you need to stay on that path because there's so many things that will deter you from that path. There's energies that are going to try to deter you from that path, right? So you need to really say, in my bones, deep inside my bones, what path do I want to walk? I understand that this path that I'm walking is uncomfortable for my family. It's uncomfortable for my friends. It's uncomfortable for my neighbors. It's, you know, whatever. But is this a path of love? And that right there is the test. If you're walking a path and you're comfortable with people, places, and things that talk trash about other people, that put other people down, that have very like negative opinions or outlooks on the world, that's a path of darkness. And even if, I'm going to say something super controversial right here, maybe not super duper controversial, but it's kind of controversial, right? Because we see certain people, I'm going to call out, no, I'm not going to call anybody out, but we see certain people and a lot of people can say, yeah, that person's on a path of darkness. But what we don't sometimes recognize is even if you consciously, you care about other people, you care about community, you care about mankind, and you're empathic and all of these things, even if you are carrying an energy of hatred inside of you, even if you're carrying an energy of the means justify the ends, like even if you're looking at a person who's a horrible person and you think in your head, I would be justified to do X, Y, Z to this person. I would be justified. I'm going to bring up a little bit of an example. I don't want to get too political, but I'm just going to give a little bit of an example. If you feel justified to vandalize people's property because you don't believe in a certain thing, look at that, right? Look at that. Is that a path of light or is that a path of dark? Because it's not always obvious what the dark and the light is, right? Like all of us have these moments where we have to reevaluate that for ourselves. And so because of the fact that we are all on this journey of constantly reevaluating that for ourselves, and that is a lot of work. Evaluating your own path and am I on a path of light truly? That takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of intention. It takes a lot of awareness. We don't have the energetic space to worry about, is that person over there on a path of light? We just don't have it. If we're worried about the people over there and what they're doing, we need to be worrying about ourselves. Like, just flat out, right? So don't get tricked into thinking that because I'm not in that camp that talks shit about migrants or talks shit about black people or like just because I'm not like that doesn't mean I'm on a path of light. Like, do I talk shit about people? Period. Do I sometimes feel justified when I talk shit about people? Because that is not a path of light. So I feel like this is a message that had to get through. It really feels like it was, sometimes I get in this flow where I really feel like I'm channeling certain things. But that's your collective reading. I think that a lot of us right now just need to have more awareness of what is really going on in the collective right now. And I appreciate you guys staying here to watch and listen to that. Yeah, so right now I don't do personal readings on YouTube. I may eventually. I don't do it right now. Yeah. So right now I work at a metaphysical store in my city, and I I don't want to take away from that store by doing personal readings on YouTube. So I only do paid personal readings in store there. So everything that I offer online is free at the moment. That probably will change in the future when I get a big enough community. But, you know, the store is part of my, let's just say the store right now is also part of my path. So I don't want to take away from that. And I'm just going to say, because I am going to edit this and post this. So if you want to get a free reading from me, if someone wants to get a free reading from me, I am available for in-person reading. Not a free reading. Did I say free reading? I'm sorry. If you want to get an in-person reading from me, thank you so much. If you want to get an in-person reading from me, I am doing readings at Luna and Sol in Ypsilanti, Michigan. $30 for 15 minutes, $50 for a half an hour. That is the only place that I'm doing in-person readings at this moment. So if you are interested in a reading from me, please check out Luna and Sol. I'll put a link below in the description. So thank you so much. I hope you have a good day. I am going to do the Zodiac readings, and then I will edit this video and post it on my site so you can come back, and check out like the Capricorn reading later if you want to. So if you leave now, you won't miss anything, just so you know. Thanks for coming. Thank you too. Lots of love and light to you. Bye. I'm just pulling up, before I start the Aries reading, I'm pulling up my thing. Okay, so I am going to pull an oracle card for the Aries reading. Oop. You got 3 oracle cards that came out. You have, you have Dragon Power that came out for the collective, the collective reading. You have Bear Spirit, Bear Spirit with healing. So know your own power, because healing will give you power. You'll feel stronger. I remember 2 years ago, I was in a place personally where I was crying all the time. I couldn't hold in my emotions. It was very difficult for me. And the healing that I've gone through has really helped me. Like, I can talk about the issues I have without breaking down in tears, and my friends have noticed that and everything. So, going through the healing process can sometimes be difficult at first, but it will give you power at the end of the day. So don't run away from that process. We have Elves with playfulness. We have Wizard of the Woods with focus. So with the playfulness, I was just talking about healing and how it can feel. It can be difficult sometimes, especially when you're first starting to do it. Play with it. I was just talking to my friend earlier today about how life is really a game. It's really, I don't want to minimize it, right? Because it is serious. We deal with serious issues and serious themes, and things are very hurtful for us sometimes, and all of these things, right? So I don't want to minimize what people go through in their life. But the more you can look at life as just, I am a divine being who came down here to have a human experience and to play, to enjoy life, to go with the flow. So the more you can enjoy life in that way and just play with life as you go, the happier you're gonna be, and the stronger you will feel, right? The more peace you'll have in your life. So we have Wizard of the Woods with focus. So focus on that intention, right? Focus on the intention of, I'm going to play. I'm going to play with the healing process. I'm going to play with my everyday life. I'm going to play with the experiences that I have in life. I'm just going to enjoy my life. Focus on that intention. Set intentions. When you get up in the morning, set an intention for the day. Okay, I'm going to pull some cards for Aries. Okay, I first shuffled, I got 2 cards. So I shuffled again, and I got like a million of them. Okay, so we have Page of Wands, Justice. The Magician reverse. We have the Hermit. We have the 3 of Cups reversed. We have the Ace of Cups reversed. It's a lot of cards that came out. So there is a need for healing here. I have the Star card reversed. There's a need for healing. You really need to balance things out in your life and learn how to take inspired action with the things that you're doing. I think you do try to do that. You have an intention to do that because the Page of Wands here is upright. But there's something, I feel like there's something about, you have the intention to do that, but I'm not sure you always do that. Because you have, Justice card, you have the Magician reverse, which is kind of indicating a lack of a lack of understanding that you are a very powerful being who can kind of create your own reality and, manipulate things, not in a shadowy way. I kind of hate that word. I wish there was a better word. I don't know. There probably is. I don't know. I just don't use it. Whatever. But the Magician reverse doesn't understand how powerful he is, right? How every experience that comes into his life, that's manifested into his reality, is a work of his own creation, right? The Magician realizes that every experience that comes in his life is a work of his own creation. The Magician reverse doesn't realize that. So you have the Hermit. So I think there's a need to take some time within and really kind of figure out, learn how to discern, when you talk about inspired action versus just regular old action, learn how to discern between what's inspired action and what is just taking action on something. And I think that that discernment will become a lot easier as you do the healing process. I'm saying that there's some need to do that. You may have issues with a group of people that you are emotionally attached to. This could be family. This could be friends. But there's some kind of dysfunction within this group. You have the Ace of Cups, which is, upright. The Ace of Cups is blessing. Having your cup filled. When it's reversed, it can be, like a lack of blessing or I don't know what I'm getting from this card. It's almost so the cup is reversed and there's it looks like a chick. We'll just say it's a chick because it looks like a chick to me. So the cup is empty, but there's a chick there still pecking, trying to get something out of the cup. So you may be in a situation where people are trying to pull energy from you that you really don't have to give. That's interesting. So you have the Temperance reverse. So yeah, there's a lack of balance here in your life between the physical and the spiritual. And I think that Yeah, there's definitely a need to go within and really figure out where this lack of balance is coming from. You have the Hangman. It's time to look at, it's time to try to find a different perspective about something. There's something that you're looking at that is not super clear to you. It was like it was saying earlier, there's a need to balance some things, weigh some things out, maybe do a pros and cons, maybe look at, maybe right now you're only really looking at one side of a situation and you know, widen your perspective when it comes to that. You have the Ace of Swords reversed. Yeah, you know, this is like, you either don't have intuition coming in for you or you don't like what the intuition is saying when it comes in. There's something about your disconnection. There's a disconnection between you and spirit. So I think the imbalance that is here is really, I think you may be imbalanced leaning towards the physical in this reading, which this can change, by the way. I mean, yeah, like overall, we have, I feel like we have overall, we kind of have, like, we're either balanced more towards the spiritual or balanced more towards the physical, or like there's an imbalance towards the physical or an imbalance towards the spiritual, or we can be balanced in that way, right? So overall, we can have that energy. But when it comes to like day-to-day matters or situation to situation matters, we may be really balanced spiritually in this area and really imbalanced physically in this other area. I hope that makes sense. Because what I usually do is when the Temperance card comes out reverse, I'm kind of looking at the whole reading and saying, this is what the imbalance feels like to me. But you may listen to like another Aries reading that I do and hear me say, oh, you're super balanced spiritually, right? And you'd be like, what are you talking about? Well, because it can change. It literally can change from day to day, which is why we have good days and we have bad days. The good days, we probably are, when we feel more at peace, we are more balanced towards the spiritual. When we feel very distressed, there's probably an imbalance in the earthly realm a little bit, right? There's a misalignment somewhere. So you have Four of Cups reversed, which is talking about becoming more hopeful about something. There's something that you're distressed about. And maybe you're starting to kind of become more hopeful. Maybe you have been spending some time in that hangman energy, that hermit energy, and really kind of like learning to weigh things out. But I don't know. I feel like, you know, you have the moon card here too, which came before the Two of Cups. So the moon is about kind of being lost. You know, it's like the Little Red Riding Hood card. You're like in the woods. It's kind of dark and scary. You're lost. And you are surrendering to the universe in this card, but it just doesn't change the fact that you're a little lost. And you know, this is kind of the energy of the Page of Swords that I was saying, because it's upright, right? So I think that there is some leaning on the universe. There is some inspired action being taken, but I don't think it's super consistent. Because I think you do toggle back and forth between being more spiritually balanced and being more physically, or being more spiritually imbalanced and being more physically imbalanced, right? You want to be in the middle. You want to be somewhere in the middle. Because you're a divine being, that's the spiritual, who is having a human experience, that's the physical, right? So we can't deny either one of those parts of ourselves. Anytime we deny a part of ourselves, we create a misalignment. We create something that needs to be healed. So recognize that you know what I'm kind of, you know, like the energy I'm kind of feeling. It's almost like this is the type of imbalance I'm feeling. I'm feeling like, you know, that you're a divine being and having a human experience, but you compartmentalize it sometimes, right? Like, Like right now, I'm heavily into my human self. You may have times where you're not necessarily, your consciousness isn't necessarily aware of the fact that you are a divine being. I feel like you lose track of that sometimes. And it's not that we have to be super vigilant with ourselves and say, at all times, I'm going to walk through life feeling like I'm a spiritual being having a human experience, right? Like some people, I mean, I kind of live that way and that works for me, but some people, that's a lot of pressure to live that way, right? Which I can understand. Because the truth is, you're never alone. You have spirit guides with you. There's guardian angels with you. Your higher self is with you. And I think that that feeling of having eyes on you all the time, that feeling of having eyes on you all the time it can feel like an obligation and a burden. So you may go in and out of like really feeling like I'm a divine being having a human experience, or however you look at that, right? And then over here you may be like, it's Friday and I'm just out with my girls having a good night, right? I'm not trying to think of all that. So the last card here, you have Two of Pentacles reversed. Yeah, there's an imbalance. So you had Temperance. Yeah, you had the two cards that show balance in the tarot are both reversed. So the Temperance is more about balance between the physical and the spiritual. And the Two of Pentacles is more about just balance in life. Like, I think that not always being balanced spiritually is causing an imbalance and a misalignment in your everyday life. So there's something that needs to be there's something that needs to be healed here. There's something that needs to be looked at. So you can get that balance, and you need to realize that you are the magician. You do have the ability to do that for yourself. And I have a reel up on my page. It's called Which Kind of Magician Are You? And that'll talk about that magician reverse energy a little bit more if you want to go into it's not a long video, obviously it's a reel, but if you want to check that out, please do. And I'm gonna go on to Taurus. What do we have to say today for Taurus? Hey Taurus, you have Standing Stones with Passage. A lot of red. I'm seeing red in this card. I'm seeing red in this card too. Wise Woman of the Grove. Wise Woman of the Grove and Standing Stones with Passage. This is kind of giving me guardian energy. The first card is number 40, which breaks down to 4, which is, I think of building structure, building a foundation for something. And the second card is 49, which breaks down to 13, which breaks down to 4 again. So there's something that you're building. There's something, I almost feel like you are, in a certain way, so for Taurus, I'm trying to figure out if you are this person. I feel like there's a guardian here. So I don't know. It may be a spiritual guardian. Because in this card, that's definitely a spirit. I don't know if you guys can see. Yeah, that's like a spirit person. Wise Women of the Grove. There's someone guarding you. I feel like, and helping you to build structure for you in your life. There's someone helping you. There's some kind of spirit helping you. I mean, of course, we always have our guardians and our higher self. And so there is always spirits helping us. But I think this reading is kind of like wanting to point that out even more. You have the Hangman, which is about looking at a different perspective. Something about the way you're looking at things is not right. Not right. That's not the right way to put it. Something about the way you're looking at things it would be helpful to reevaluate that. Let's put that way. Because there's nothing wrong about how you're looking at things. But I think it would be helpful for you to reevaluate. You have the Six of Pentacles reversed. You may be overgiving to a situation. Giving too much energy. You may have energy vampires sucking your energy. I don't know, that just came to me. You have the Fool reverse. There's some kind of like new journey you're meant to be going on, and there's a resistance to it. Or you've been invited to go on. Nine of Swords reverse. This is about coming out of stress and anxiety. Maybe this new journey that you've been invited to go on would help you come out of stress and anxiety, but you're having a hard time making a decision about whether you want to go on this new path. You have Six of Swords reverse, which is talking about a resistance. There's something that you need to like move through, heal, move past. I don't want to say let it go. Because what I really mean is transmute the energy. And then once you transmute the energy, it'll be gone. You won't have to let it go because it'll already be gone. But there's something keeping you, there's something that you need to heal and move on from that is keeping you from making the decision to go on this new journey that's going to help you come out of stress and anxiety. Because right now you're giving too much to a situation. And there's a lot of action coming in. And it's upright, so it's not necessarily negative action. That energy feels different than the rest of the energy here. Can I just get a clarifier for Knight of Wands? The Temperance reverse. Maybe you're taking positive actions. So there's an imbalance. You have an imbalance between the physical and the spiritual. This card is coming out a lot for a lot of people. So you may be taking some actions that are divinely inspired that are going to help you come out of this imbalanced energy. Because this Knight of Wands energy doesn't really match the other energy I see here. So I think like when it comes to the Six of Swords reverse, I was saying that there's some healing that needs to be done, and there's like some energy that you need to move through. Or there's some energy that it would help you to move through that, because this energy that you're in right now is causing stress and anxiety. You know, and you're giving too much to it. And you're having a hard time making the decision to really move on from it. But whatever you're doing, I don't know if you're meditating, I don't know if you're journaling, I don't know what you're doing. Getting good advice from someone, I don't know. Whatever it is you're doing, it's going to help you with this imbalance. So keep doing that. Okay, Taurus, this is your reading. I am going to move on to Gemini. Okay, you have Bluebird Spirit with Happiness. I also want to pull a card at the bottom of the deck. We have Standing Stones with Passage again. So 7, Bluebird Spirit, Happiness. And Standing Stones. So Gemini, I feel like with the Standing Stones with Passage, it makes me feel like there's like a border there, or there's a boundary, right? Like maybe you've been putting up boundaries, or you need to put up boundaries around something. Because the Bluebird Spirit is number 7 card. It's the number 7 card, which is like the number of like your angels. and stuff. It's a spiritual number. I feel like you're being guided. My throat chakra today, y'all. I feel like you're being guided to put up boundaries around something in your life that's been not great for you. Like to only let certain energies pass. And maybe your guides are doing that for you. You know, maybe they're protecting you in that way. Like we're only going to let certain energies pass this threshold. And you have the Queen of Cups reversed. This is a feminine energy. Ruling over the world of emotion, but it's like unstable emotion. So this could be your mother, this could be you. I mean, it doesn't have to be a woman. It's a feminine energy, nurturing energy. So whoever, it could also be an aspect of self. That's too many cards. We have Three of Wands reversed. This is a resistance to go. Maybe there's someone here who... And you kind of don't want to go there with that person. You're wanting to put boundaries up around that person. This could be it doesn't have to be a woman. It's a feminine energy, but the Lovers card came out. You have the Lovers card, so this could be about a relationship. Doesn't have to be romantic, but it could be. It could just be like some kind of relationship in your life. But you have Ten of Swords, so this may be a relationship that's ended, right? Like you want to put up boundaries around this person. I think this person has caused you a lot of pain before. Nine of Cups reversed. Nine of Cups, I call it the death of a wish. The death of a wish card. So I feel like you had dreams with this person. And it doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. It could be a nurturer in your life. It could be aspects of yourself. I'm not feeling that, but it could be for some of you. But yeah, you had dreams for things to be a certain way with this person, and they're not working out that way. You also have Nine of Pentacles reversed. Five of Wands. Yeah, there's been a lot of chaos and conflict. The High Priestess reversed. Maybe there's been a loss of independence in some sort of way. There's a cycle that's being completed, but there's a resistance to the ending of this cycle. I kind of do feel like for a lot of you, this is like a romantic relationship. You have a dependency on this person. Yeah, they've caused you a lot of like heartache and pain. If you're still in this cycle, if you're still like in a relationship with this person, yeah, the Three of Wands reversed, there may be kind of a resistance to move on from this person. And also with the World card reversed, there may be a resistance to ending the cycle with this person. There's a dependency here, but there's also a lot of chaos and conflict. I think you're getting a lot of intuitive hits to move away from the situation. But you have dreams of like really building something with this person. I feel like leaving this situation is going to be the death of a dream with Nine of Cups reverse. You know, it's going to be the death of a dream for you. And I think that's probably what keeps you, if you're not still dealing with this person, then I see it as like you're not with them. Of course, it's, again, I have to say, for some of you, this is going to be a romantic situation. For others of you, it's not. It's just another relationship in your life. But still, there's still a dependency there, right? There's a resistance to walking away from this energy. And Spirit is saying, we're trying to protect you from this energy. Like, we want you, Spirit is like, we are actively putting up boundaries against this energy. And we would like you to be actively putting up boundaries against this energy as well, right? Spirit is saying, this is what we are doing. Can you please do this too? And I don't think you're always listening with the High Priestess reverse. So if you're in a relationship that's chaos and where there's a lot of chaos and conflict, you need to walk away from that relationship. Or you're being guided to walk away from that relationship. If you've already walked away from the relationship, then there's an attachment that needs to be healed, because you can be not in a relationship with someone and still have an attachment. You can still need to detach from that person. And again, like I said, if it's not a romantic relationship, it can be any kind of relationship. But the same would be true. There's some kind of attachment to this person and they're not great energy for you. They're chaos and conflict and they're causing a lot of pain and betrayal. So that is the reading for Gemini. Let's go into Cancer. Okay, what do we want to say to Cancers today? Standing stones again. That came out again. I feel like there's a lot of people who need to put boundaries up in situations. Forest Temple with Enlightenment. Dragonfly Spirit with Change. Yeah, so I think you need to put boundaries around certain energies in your life. People, places, and things. Because detaching yourself from certain energies, Cancer, is going to help you to like reach a higher level of awareness, like transform. It's going to help with your transformation process and help you reach a place of enlightenment. The cards are 40, so it breaks down to 4. That's the building number, structure. 19 breaks down to 2. This is about partnership. Your guides being with you, right? And then with the Dragonfly Spirit, you have number 12. 1 + 2 is 3. This is the number of the masters. This is, I like to call it the Jesus number. Even though I don't call Jesus Jesus. Jesus is Yeshua to me. So let's look at your cards, Cancer. Okay, you have Page 1's reverse. You have Knight of Pentacles. You have the World. Ace of Cups reverse. Knight of Cups reverse. And 7 of Swords. Okay, so I think that you're taking actions that aren't necessarily divinely inspired action. You have Knight of Pentacles. See, you're trying to plant seeds in a situation, but the actions that you're taking, you may be doing things. It's a good example of this would be, you know, like a parent who's raising a child and they're using like tough love tactics, and they may think that these are like, this is the best way to do this, you know, to work on whatever issue I'm having with this child. But the tough love tactics don't always work with every child, right? Every child is different. And so like that particular child, it may kind of like push them even more towards darker energy. So it's that type of thing, right? This is the Cancer reading. So it's a thing of like, you're trying to plant seeds in a situation, but the actions that you're taking in that situation aren't necessarily the actions that are going to plant the seeds in you in the way you want them to be planted. So then we also have the World card. This is about cycles ending. There is a cycle ending. There isn't any resistance to that cycle ending. Ace of Cups reverse is about like a lack of blessing. Knight of Cups reverse, lots of difficult emotion rushing in. And Seven of Swords, there's some lying here. So who is lying? See if we can get some information on that. With the Hangman, we have Nine of Swords. Ace of Pentacles reverse, Six of Wands reverse, King of Swords reverse, and the Temperance reverse at the back there. Someone is manipulative. Okay, I kind of see what's going on here. Someone is a liar and a manipulator, and they have caused a lot of stress and anxiety for you. I'm not sure you recognize their true nature. With the Hangman energy, you need to really take some time and look at the situation. Because what I'm feeling is that your impression of someone or someone's impression of you, I can't just assume that not everybody in this reading, who's listening to this reading, is a liar. I can't assume that not everybody is a liar in here, but I'm not going to assume that everybody is. So take it as it resonates. I lean towards wanting to assume that the people that listen to my readings aren't liars, but you would know if this is true about you, right? There's someone, though, that is lying. Seven of Swords, you have Nine of Swords reverse. They cause a lot of difficult emotions, a lot of stress and anxiety. And you, I would assume, need to realize that this person lies. And this is where the Page of Wands comes from. The Page of Wands reverse. You're trying to take actions and plant seeds that aren't divinely inspired, because if you really knew what was going on with this person mentally, you would know that none of these actions, there's no action you can take that's going to help fix the situation. And I'll give you an example of that. So this is a good example. I mean, this is the example I like to give. Number one, because I have narcissism in my family. And number two, because when you use the term narcissism, like I have actual narcissists in my family. But when you use the term narcissism, you know, hopefully people who know what that means kind of understand, right? Because when you understand that a person is a narcissist, and don't like willy-nilly label somebody that, like really do your research and look at the different behavior patterns in a narcissist. Like a person isn't a narcissist just because they lie. There's a lot of people who lie, right? So that doesn't make them a narcissist, right? There are certain, they really have to be like gaslighting you and lying, you know, isolating you. Like there's so many things that narcissists do, and it's a whole, they have to encompass a lot of these character traits. But the reason I like to use the word narcissist is because when you really understand that a person in your life is a narcissist, then you understand that it's a psychological problem, and you're not going to break that psychological hold that is over someone through any kind of actions that you do. There's literally no apology that you can make. There's no excellent dinner that you could make that would make up for it. No breakfast in bed. There is no action that you can take when it comes to a person like that. And I just feel like from this reading, you're dealing with a person like that. Either you're a person like that. I doubt that you're a person like that, though, because it actually doesn't matter. I don't know why I keep making why I'm keep just distinguishing. But the other character trait about narcissists is that they don't seek help. They don't go to counseling. They're not going to be on YouTube checking out a tarot reading, trying to figure, unless they're on YouTube trying to spy on somebody. They might be doing that. They might be spying on other people through YouTube, tarot readings. But like, they're usually not going to be coming to a tarot reading with the true intention of trying to help themselves. You know what I mean? And even if you're here spying on somebody else, that also doesn't make you a narcissist. So don't think that I'm saying that you are if you're doing that, right? It's not healthy. It's not the most healthy thing for you to be doing for yourself, but it also doesn't make you a narcissist, right? You have to be lying. You have to be manipulating. You have to be gaslighting people. Like I said, isolating people, you know, really like, I mean, they're just very meticulous about the things that they do. And they're not even totally aware that they're meticulous. Like a narcissist isn't going to really know that they're a narcissist. They're not. Until they, you know, like if they're like faced with it by a therapist or something, because they got some court-ordered therapist and the therapist is like, well, these are the qualities. Then they may be like, oh, wait, like that kind of describes me, right? But like just of their own volition, they're not going to come seeking a tarot reading for help. So if you're doing that, then this isn't talking about you, because I think that this is talking about a person who really doesn't care in that way. Like there's no actions that you could take to help the situation. It needs to be, you know, the cycle needs to be complete. The world, there is no resistance. There should not be any resistance to this cycle ending, because it's never going to bless you in the way that you want to be blessed. So that is the reading for Cancer. I hope that it was helpful for you. I know some people may have needed to hear that. Some people, it may have been difficult to hear that because you may be in a relationship with someone you really care about. So for some of you, you're like, oh my God. Yes, that's exactly what's going on in my situation. I swear. Dealing with narcissism can be really frustrating. I have to plug my computer in. So give me a second. Okay, so we're going to go on to Leo. Leo in the house. I got to turn the cards around. Leo. Wise Woman of the Grove. This is the second time this card has come out today. And we have Wolf Spirit with family. Wise Woman of the Grove is number 13 card. Boils down to 4. Just a number of structure, building. It's actually 49 card, which boils down to 13, which is a 4. And then we have Wolf Spirit with family, 51 card, which reduced down to 6. I love it. I love wolves, and I think this card is a beautiful card. If you can see it. I love wolves. Maybe there's something significant about wolves to you. And this talks about family. And the 5 + 1 is 6, which is about self-love, health, mental health, spiritual health, physical health. And Wise Woman of the Grove with grace. So maybe we need to give someone in our family grace, or maybe we need to give ourselves grace because we're dealing with a difficult family. You're going to know which one that is. Temperance reverse. That's the card of the day. That card keeps coming out. Okay. So there may be a imbalance between the physical and the spiritual. You have 7 of Pentacles reverse. You have Ace of Cups reverse. You have the Hangman. You have Knight of Pentacles. You have Knight of Cups reversed. So there may be a lot of negative emotion coming in. There may have been something that happened that's like frustrated you a little bit. You may have lost faith in something. I don't think there's anyone here who's like done anything malicious to you. But you have, so Knight of Pentacles, this is about planting seeds. The Hangman is about finding a new perspective. So it may be that your experiences that you're going through with the Knight of Cups reverse and the different emotions that come up about it. All of these experiences are planting seeds in you to give you a certain perspective on life. You know, with the 7 of Pentacles reversed, this is, you know, I look at this a lot as a timing card, like you've been building something for a really long time, or trying to build something for a really long time. Maybe you haven't been successful because you have the Ace of Cups reversed here. So it's like a lack of blessing. Maybe you've been waiting for a long time for some kind of blessing to come in. And it may be hard for you to like keep that spiritual balance because you're waiting for something to come in and it's not coming in. So, and it may have something to do with family. Maybe you're relying on someone in your family. Someone is the leader of the pack with Wolf Spirit. Like you're relying on somebody in the family to bring something in and it's not happening. And Spirit is saying, give this person grace. That was a short reading, but it was a profound reading. I think, yeah, I think you're waiting for something to happen. And it can be, you know, this is where the surrender comes in, right? Because we want things to happen like now. And the world doesn't always work like that. I mean, the earthly realm doesn't work like that because there's time in the earthly realm. So it takes time to manifest the things that we want to manifest. It doesn't just happen like that, right? It's not going to be like that until we reach the other side, unfortunately. So have patience, have grace with the people that you're working with in the process, and don't lose faith. So I'm going to go on to Virgo. I hope that reading resonated with you, Leos, and let's see what we have to say to Virgos today. We have Wolf Spirit. Wolf Spirit came out again. There's a lot of oracle cards that just came out. I'm just going to take the one on top because it's too many for me to read. So we have Wolf Spirit with family and Aspen Spirit with courage. Okay. Wolf Spirit is number 51 card. Breaks down to 6. 6 is the number of self-love, health, spiritual health, physical health, mental health, all kinds of health, right? Aspen Spirit with courage is a number 3 card. 3 is like the number of the masters. So understand that the masters are with you. Temperance reverse again. This is coming out for like all of the readings, you guys. Crazy. Oh, yay. There's an imbalance between the physical and the spiritual. Ten of Swords, something, there's an ending to something. Ten of Pentacles reverse. There's a lack of abundance here. We have Knight of Pentacles. Maybe you're trying to plant seeds of abundance and it's not happening. 8 of Wands. There is a lot of energy happening in the collective, in the earthly realm. You may be getting a lot of messages coming to you. Maybe you're getting a lot of messages from spirit. I'm a Virgo, so the imbalance here, like when that comes out for me, it tends to be talking about an imbalance leaning towards the spiritual. So maybe you're getting a lot of spiritual messages coming in. Maybe you're looking for those spiritual messages too much. So I'm going to do a video and put it on my page about this, but it's coming up right now in my head, so I need to mention it. So I've been doing a lot of divining lately, and I mean, tarot reading is divining. I like it. I like divination. But something happened recently, and I probably talk about it in the video, but something happened recently that was really a message to me that was like, don't do it too much. It's not that it's bad. Anything that we do that makes us unbalanced is not good for us, right? It's not good for our mental health. It's not good for our spiritual health and all these things. So I was using the pendulum a lot, and it's probably going to take me a minute to like not use it a lot because it's fun, right? But at the end of the day, spirit really wants you to enjoy your journey. And what I found is it's not that it's not good to use the pendulum, but like don't use it in an imbalanced way. Because also, the messages that you start getting in from it, I mean, they're going to be like, okay, well, if you want us to give you an answer, I guess we'll just give you an answer. Like, it's not a trickster energy. It's just like, what I'm trying to say is you may be getting a lot of messages in. Doesn't have to be divination. It could be synchronicities. Maybe you look for synchronicities everywhere. And I do think that the synchronicities are real. But I also think that we can look into it. Like we can take it too seriously sometimes. If you're really into spirituality, everything is a synchronicity, which it is. I do believe that everything is a synchronicity, but also just live your life. Just live your life. You don't need to be finding, you don't need to like, if you notice a synchronicity, great. But like, because of the fact that they are everywhere, you don't have to look for them everywhere all the time. Just when one pops up for you, great. You've been sent a message. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that we can look too much. We can use divination too much. We can, and it doesn't make it demonic or anything like that. Obviously, I'm still reading tarot and I'm going to still do all that stuff. But the message that I received is have a balance in everything that you're doing, right? And this isn't just about divination. Obviously, that's my thing. I'm a Virgo, and that's my thing. Like, when I look at this reading, that's the message that's giving me personally. Obviously, that's not going to be everybody's message, but it can be, like, in a religious context. I don't know how many people are listening to my tarot reading if they're religious, but in a religious context, maybe you're kind of doing the same thing. Maybe you're, instead of just going with the flow of life and the experiences that life is teaching you along the way and seeing value in every experience, you may be praying to God and thinking, okay, God's going to take care of it, right? But maybe that's not in your highest interest for God to take care of it. Like, maybe you're meant to experience the experience of like it not being taken care of, right? Everything is an experience and everything is valuable, but we can't always try to manipulate everything, right? So yeah, so the message is, I think that like there's some kind of message coming in for you. And if it's not in a spiritual context, which for most of you is probably not in a spiritual context, but if it's not in a spiritual context, it could be through messages. Maybe you're going through someone's phone, right? Like, maybe you're imbalanced in terms of like a relationship where there's not enough trust there. Like, you can't overly trust a person, but you can't underly trust a person either. You know, and maybe going in a person's phone and checking their messages is crossing a line a little bit, like into the realm of being unbalanced, right? There's something about messages coming in for you that is making you unbalanced. And then you also have 8 of Cups. Like, you need to walk away from something. There's something you need to walk away from. Like, this message is to me, for me personally, this message is like, you need to stop using the pendulum so much. They didn't tell me it was bad because I asked that question. They didn't tell me it was bad to use the pendulum, but they're just kind of saying, Sarah, you don't need to ask us questions every 2 minutes. You're good. Just live your life. Like, walk away. Put the pendulum down. Like, maybe I need to put the pendulum away for, a week. I don't know if I can do longer than a week. I just get questions in my mind. I got to ask them. But, so yeah, in the context of like text messages or whatever, if you're in a relationship where you feel like you have to go through your partner's phone, you need to walk away from that relationship. Like, that's what that's saying. So take that as it resonates. It's going to be different for everybody. You have death. So you had 10 of Swords and death, which are both like cards of endings. So yeah, there's something that definitely needs to end here. Right? So figure out what that is for you. What needs to be ended? My obsession with the pendulum needs to be ended. Clearly. We have 4 of Cups reverse, which is talking about being hopeful. Like, so, and the other thing too, like, let go of control over your experiences in life and how your life flows. Yes, you should take inspired action on things, right? If you recognize that this energy over here is not positive for me, then maybe I don't need to sit in that energy, right? So take inspired action, but you don't try to control like every moment of every day in your life. Like, just enjoy your experiences in life, because that's what you came down here to do. And just accept the fact that some of your experiences are going to be great and other ones are going to be not so great, because that's part of the range of emotions down here, the range of experience that we came down here to experience. So that's the message I see in this reading. And it takes courage to really accept that, to really accept life in that way, to accept that one day I'm going to die and that's just part of life. You know what I mean? To accept that I'm not always going to be perfect when it comes to my family. I'm not, you know, I may not have the perfect relationships with my family that I want to have. Like, accept the fact that the perfect things that you want in your life aren't always going to, it's not always going to come to you in that way. And that's just part of life. So we are going to move on to Libra. We're going to move on to Libra. Okay, what does Libra have to say today? We have Enchanted Fern Grotto with Refuge. Wolf Spirit again. With family. That's the third time that card has come out. So Enchanted Fern Grotto. So take refuge in family. Or take refuge from family. However that resonates for you. So we have the Eight of Swords again. We have Five of Wands, also chaos and conflict. Eight of Swords, this may be a lot of gossiping going on among this group of people. We have the Temperance reverse. This keeps coming out, man. This card. Everybody is unbalanced. Oh, gosh. The Temperance reverse. There's an unbalance between the physical and the spiritual. We have death. Some kind of ending. We have the Sun. And there's success. So the Sun card was surprising. Oh, you know what it's saying? You need to end the chaos and conflict. Right? I feel like you're around, you know, there's someone... You're just around, or this could be you. This could be an aspect of you. There's some chaos and conflict. I'm not saying it is. I'm saying if that resonates for you, you know if you cause chaos and conflict. You know it. You know it. If you're confused about it, you can probably think what do I do? How do people act? Is there a lot of chaos and conflict around me? Because I'm sure you've at least noticed that, if that is the case, right? So you can say, is there a lot of chaos and conflict around me? And when I look at my actions, can I trace back that chaos and conflict to my actions? Right? Be honest with yourself about that. Because I've had to do that myself because I have a toxic family. And I say that all the time. One day I'm probably going to write a book about it. But I have a toxic family. So when you are in a toxic family, there's chaos and conflict all around you at all times. The family's toxic, right? So it can play tricks on your mind, because you can be like, well, yeah, there's a lot of chaos and conflict around me, but I'm pretty sure it's not me, because I'm not lying on people and I'm not being disrespectful to people. And I really, when you really look. And I would talk to my friends about it, and I'd be like, hey, this situation happened. This is what I did. This is what they did. And I would be very honest, brutally. If there's any kind of fault that I could personally have in this situation, I'm going to lay it out for you. You tell me your honest opinion. Did I do anything wrong? And, you start to, after kind of evaluating things like that, you might, if you did do something wrong, you might talk to somebody and they might say, well, maybe it was a little harsh that you did this or whatever. And they can give you a new perspective on it. Right? So there's something about this chaos and conflict. So this could go either way. I think this has something to do with family because the wolf spirit came out. So if you are someone who has a toxic family, you need to take refuge. You need to separate yourself from that family and take refuge. If you are someone who creates conflict, you need to realize that your family is your refuge. Like, stop doing that. If you're creating conflict in your family unit, stop doing that. Stop that, because it's going to bring success. It's going to bring happiness to stop that cycle. Right? So, and I love how in this reading, I feel it could be this or it could be this, because it's a Libra reading, right? So there's a lot of balance of scales energy, like really look at things from both sides energy. Like you could be the conflict starter, or you could be the recipient of the conflict. You could be a gossiper. You could be the person that's being gossiped about. Either way, there's an imbalance in this situation. There's an imbalance within you, and there needs to be put an end to it so you can find success in your situation. And it doesn't have to be like family. This could be friend group, whoever you consider family. Okay, so we're going to look at Scorpio. Ooh, Scorpio already has something to say. Scorpio already chirping. Yeah, water spirit with manifesting dreams. Wood nymph with beauty. We have guardians of the land with protection. We have wolf spirit again. Oh man, this has come out 4 times. 4 times. There's a lot of family stuff going on with people, I think. So, find the beauty. Find the beauty in life. Because finding the beauty in your everyday life, like your everyday life, even if your life feels crappy, there is still beauty to be seen there. Find the beauty in your life, because that's going to raise your vibration to a place that, we're all protected anyway, but I was saying that, like, when bad things happen to us or when negative things happen to us, it's not that we're not protected, but we're getting the energy that we're putting out, right? So raising your vibrational state is going to protect your energy, right? It's going to add protection, and it's going to help you manifest your dreams. So there's something about your family unit. Maybe you're standing out from your family unit because you are working on your vibrational state. You are protected. Maybe there's a lot of energies around you that are problematic. Maybe your family is protected. Okay. Maybe this is about got a clump of cards that fell out, so I'm going to take them. Hopefully it's not too many. We have 2 of Swords reversed. There's a difficult decision that needs to be made. 6 of Swords reversed. This is about healing and moving through a situation, but there's a resistance to moving on from something. You have 6 of Pentacles reversed. You're overgiving to a situation. You have Wheel of Fortune reversed. This is a fated situation. You have Page of Swords. You're learning from the situation. You're being guided. You're being intuitively guided. You have Queen of Swords reversed. You may have a feminine energy in your family unit who lies and is manipulative and just not a very you know, kind of a shadowy energy. You have Queen of Wands. This may be you taking intuitively guided action. You know, this is a marriage between the moon and the sun, I like to say. Moon energy, sun energy, receptive energy, and action energy. So that may be you. You have the King of Pentacles. You will be successful, because I think you are pulling away from this energy. Because you are listening to your intuition. You're listening to your intuition. You're going to pull away from this energy because you're taking the intuitively guided actions. You have the Lover's card reversed. Yeah, there's a relationship here that's not great. And I think it's this Queen of Swords. I think it's this Queen of Swords energy. You're being guided through it. There's a difficult relationship here. It may be your whole family. And you're learning. Like, I feel like you're learning from the situation. You're getting deep knowledge. Either, and if it's not deep knowledge, like in a spiritual way, I feel like Scorpios are very deep, but it could also just be that you're getting literal truth bombs in the earthly realm. Like, you're learning about lies that have been told. You're learning about all these things. But you're over giving to a situation. Maybe you've been really giving to a situation, a Queen of Swords reverse, and you like kind of recently learn all the lies that this person is telling. Right? And so your decision is that like you really need to just like leave this energy alone, but it's hard for you because it's someone in your family. So that's your reading, Scorpio. We are going to go to Sagittarius. Saggies. So the Sagittarius reading just went up on my channel today. Actually, yeah, today. But at the time that this is edited and posted, it will be tomorrow. So when you're listening to this, if you're listening to this on Thursday, the Sagittarius reading went up yesterday. But I also want to say about that reading that reading, I feel like a lot of people can benefit from that reading because it was really bringing up a lot of things around, I really try to stay away from politics as much as possible. But it was bringing up some stuff about like what's going on in the collective. And I think it would be a very helpful reading for a lot of people to listen to, whether you're a Republican or a Democrat. Quite honestly. We have Maple Spirit with generosity. We have Water Spirit with manifesting dreams. We have Rainbow Waterfall with miracles. And we have Enchanted Fern Grotto with refuge. Yeah, like take refuge in, look at all these beautiful scenes. You have this like beautiful tree with generosity. Be generous. Like if you're not feeling great right now, I was sort of just talking about the deep dive reading that kind of brought up some political themes. If you're not feeling great about what's going on right now, be generous. Like just put that energy out in the world. You know, work on manifesting your own dreams. Because at the end of the day, that's what's happening on the micro. And yeah, the micro reflects, that's what's happening on the macro. And the macro reflects the micro. But don't let certain things that's happening on the micro or on the macro, I don't know why I keep switching that. Don't let certain things that are happening on the macro keep you from dreaming in your own individual life. Manifest your own dreams and realize that it is possible to do that. Because miracles happen with Rainbow Waterfall. Miracles will happen. Nothing that's happening in the world right now is going to keep miracles from happening in your own life. I love the butterfly in the corner with transformation. There's another butterfly up here. Purple's my favorite color. So that's lovely. So yeah, miracles can happen in your own personal life, regardless of what's happening on the macro level, right? And take refuge. Take refuge in your own life. You know, manifesting your own dreams. Being kind and generous with your own heart. You know, guard your heart from those who would harm it, but be kind and generous, right? Learn how to discern, like when can I be like is this can I be generous in this way? Like is it going to be harmful to me to be generous in this way? So that is your oracle reading. Let's look at your tarot cards. Ooh. Okay, you have the Wheel of Fortune reversed. You have the Lovers reversed. You have the Queen of Swords reversed. You have Queen of Wands. You have King of Pentacles. The Tower card reversed. The Hangman reverse. And the Nine of Cups. Okay, so there's something going on right now that's fated for you. It's difficult. It may not be fated for you. This may be what's happening. I had a lot of themes, like I said, in the Sagittarius, the deep dive reading that was talking about things that I really felt the energy of things that are happening on the collective. And I'm kind of feeling that energy here. Because there may be some things that are kind of like fated to happen, but they're not necessarily like comfortable things that are happening. Yeah, they're not necessarily comfortable things that are happening. And we have the Lovers reversed. So there may be like friendships that you're losing right now. And just know that like that's happening to everybody. Friendships, relationships, you know, partnerships. This is happening to the whole collective. Because people are, you know, listen to the collective reading I did at the beginning of this this all signs reading. Because I talk about that a lot in the collective reading. There's a lot of relationships that are having difficulty right now. Queen of Swords reversed. There may be a feminine energy in your life that is like the shadowy aspect of this feminine is coming out. There may be some lies and manipulation. Some difficulty. It can also be like in a less extreme context. This could also just be, maybe this is an aspect of yourself, like having a hard time finding the truth in situations. There's this energy of like a lack of truth. You have the Queen of Wands. This could be you, your receptive energy. Yeah, I think this may be an aspect of you. But if that doesn't resonate, like if you know, when I say this is a feminine energy, a nurturing energy, the shadow aspect of this energy is coming out. There may be some lies. There may be, like when I say that, if there's a feminine energy in your life and you're like, oh yeah, that's that person. Like that's who we're talking about here. So follow your own intuition. But I think for a lot of you, this may be aspect of self. Because I think that you are the Queen of Wands. Like you're a receptive, it's like the moon and the sun combined. It's you're a nurturing energy of inspired action. So I think you take a lot of action, right? Which may be why it's hard to sometimes just sit back and like see the beauty in your own life, you know, manifest your own dreams. Maybe you're spending a lot of time thinking about how to make things right in certain situations. King of Pentacles, this is about like kind of building your kingdom. Yeah, you're trying to build up something. In a work context, maybe you're a business owner. Maybe your partnership isn't going great. Maybe you have a partnership with somebody that's not going great. You know, the Tower reversed, there's a Tower that's being avoided here. First, you're avoiding a Tower. You have the Hangman reversed. There's maybe like, this can be kind of a stubborn energy. Like maybe you're resisting seeing something from a different perspective. And you have the Nine of Cups. So this is talking about wish fulfillment. Getting what you want. Yeah, it was saying manifesting dreams here. And wish fulfillment at the end. So even though there's all this stuff going on like around you, you're still going to manifest what you want for yourself. So don't worry about all the stuff going on around you. Worry about like your own personal life. If you're in a partnership with somebody that's not telling you the truth or whatever, like you may be in a situation where you're like, that may be the Tower. Like maybe this partnership is breaking up and you're like doing everything you can to keep it together. But maybe you need to just let it like self-destruct, right? Because there's a lot of relationships right now that are going in different directions. So, okay, Sagittarius, that is your reading. We're going to move on to Aquarius. No, Capricorn. Capricorn, what is going on with my Capricorns? There's a lot of cards flying out for you. I don't think I want to take them all. I'll take these ones. All right, we have Maple Spirit with generosity, Unicorn with purity. We have Enchanted Fern Grotto with refuge. Reflecting Pool with stillness. Stillness. Refuge. Maybe you need to go hermit mode for a little bit. This is giving me hermit mode energy. Purity and generosity. I don't know, like maybe with the, you may be a very pure and generous spirit who's interacting with people that aren't that. Like maybe you need to like kind of detach your energy a little bit and just like do you for a minute. Yeah, you have number 23, that's 5. So there's change that's needed. 45, that's 9. There's endings. 16 is 7. It's like a highly spiritual number. You have, what is that, 33? The masters are with you. Yeah, I think you need to go within a little bit more. There's some endings that need to happen. There's some changes that need to be made. Okay, Capricorn. We have the High Priestess. Okay, a lot of cards that fall out here. We have 7 of Swords reverse. Let's see. Four of Wands, which is about celebration, structure. There's Nine of Swords, which is about stress and anxiety. High Priestess is someone who's tapped into intuition, like highly tapped into intuition. Eight of Wands, there's a lot of energy, earthly energy around this. It could be communication. You have Four of Cups reverse. This could talk about coming out of, feeling more hopeful about something. And you have Death, which is about endings. You have the Sun. This is about success. Seven of Swords. This is about coming out of an energy of like lying, thieving. And then you have Six of Pentacles reversed, which is about kind of overgiving to a situation. Okay. I don't know if all of you are going to relate to. I just felt like there were some energies here. There were energies like mixed in with each other. I feel like this reading is talking about someone that you may be like not happy with right now, or someone maybe not happy with you. Take that as it resonates. So there's two people here, and you figure out which one you are. There's one person here who is celebrating something. They're very like tapped into their intuition. They've been successful. They're coming out of an energy of like lies and deceit. They're like rejecting that energy. They're feeling more hopeful. They're putting an end to things. And then there's the other energy here, which I think may be a little gossipy or a little, there's a lot of, I've had the Eight of Wands come up in a few readings today, and I keep seeing it as like, so there's a lot of energy going, it's earthly energy. It can also be communication coming in, right? So I kind of see this as like, maybe it could be spiritual messages coming in. It could be, text messages. It can be calls, phone calls. It could be talking to people about different things, gossipy type of communication. Like, take that as it resonates. But there's some communication going on here. And you have there's someone with stress and anxiety. I think that this person that we were talking about first, the person who's like highly tapped into intuition and stuff like that, is giving this other person stress and anxiety. They feel like they've really overgiven to this person. Let me get a little bit more information on this second person here so we can clarify a little bit. Okay, so Seven of Cups reversed. There's clarity. So maybe you feel like, or someone, the second person, it may not be you, but the second person feels like, so the other person may have ended a relationship with this other person. I don't know who's you and who's another person. Like I said, you're going to have to see that as it resonates for you. But the first person ended a relationship with the second person. So now the second person is sad about that, has some stress and anxiety, but they have some clarity, right? They're looking at the situation and they're like, man, I gave way too much to that situation. You have Nine of Cups, which is about wishes fulfilled. Maybe you wanted that person to walk away from you in the first place. So you're kind of looking like, man, you walk away if you want to. I don't even need you in my life. For real, for real. Like, wishes granted. I wanted you to walk away, right? And then the last card is the Chariot reverse, which is talking about universal energies. So this is like stalled energy. So there's a lot of energy happening in the earthly realm. And mind you, the earthly realm, this is that's the 3D realm. right? Well, I mean, like, there's a shift going on right now, but like the not so great energies really are resting in the earthly realm right now, right? So there's a lot of energy swirling in the earthly realm, but in the spiritual realm, there's some stalled energy here, right? So I think there's a need for someone to really reflect on their own behavior and to really be able to recognize like pure generosity, like what pure generosity looks like. And I'm not going to say it's you that needs to do that. I also have to be very careful. I'm just going to be honest about, I have to be very careful how I interpret Capricorn readings sometimes, because there's someone in my life who's a Capricorn. And so I have to be very careful about like not being biased about my readings when it comes to Capricorns. So what I'm just saying is that I see two energies in this reading. So you decide who you are. Are you a person that was walked away from by a person who is like highly connected to spirituality and celebrating a life of success and coming out of an energy of lies and deceit and feeling more hopeful about their life? Like, are you that person? Or are you the person that that person walked away from? I hope that makes sense, right? Because I think that some of you in here are going to be the first person. And some of you in here are going to be the second person. Because the second person, there's a lot of like earthly energy swirling around them. There's a lot, they have a lot of stress and anxiety right now. They feel clear about what they've given to a person. You know, like they feel clear, and I'm not saying it's a good thing, bad thing. I don't want to give a biased reading, but they feel clear that like I've given way too much to this person. And I think they kind of feel like happy that that other person walked away. But also with the Chariot reverse here, the universal energy is stalled in this person's life, which isn't a great thing. So if you feel like you're the second person, if you feel like someone walked out of my life, good, I'm glad you walked out of my life. Right? Like, and they're like, you know, celebrating, they're doing just fine. They're celebrating their life. They're, you know, successful, peaceful, all of these things. I think the Oracle cards were really saying that that in this reading, there needs to be a reflection on what is true purity and true generosity. Because also, like, if someone in the reading feels like I gave way too much to this person, were you giving true generosity to that person? Right? Like, question that. Or that person should question that. I don't want to assume that that person is you. Again, I don't want to make that assumption. But if you feel like I gave way too much to this person and I'm so glad they walked out of my life, like wishes fulfilled, I would say if you feel that way and you feel like you have a lot of success in your life, then you probably were overgiving to that person, right? If you feel that way and you also feel like, man, my universal energy feels kind of stalled right now. There's a lot of bad things happening right now. Like, it's kind of hard right now for me. If you feel that way, then you may want to reevaluate what generosity truly is. Because you may have been feeling like you were really giving to a person, but you may have really been giving them like lies and deceit. So take that as it resonates. Again, you're like, it's going to be different for everybody in here. But there are two people here. There's clearly two people in these cards. So which one are you? Figure out for yourself. It's not for me to tell you. It's going to be different for everybody who listens to this. But figure out which person are you, right? because there's someone here that needs to reevaluate. I was about to turn the camera off. I'm going to go on to Aquarius. Okay, Aquarius. Let's look at your oracle card reading. You have Foggy Bog with Patience and Pegasus with Transcending. Okay, so Patience, Transcending. There's something that you're transcending in spirit. There's something that is happening. There's some energy that's moving in your life. Some changes that are coming in. Spirit is asking you to have patience. Oop. Okay, change is coming. Have patience. Okay, so you got the Eight of Wands, which keeps coming out for every group. There's a lot happening in the earthly realm. There may be a lot of talk happening. There may be, communication. There may be a lot of actions happening. Just a lot of energy in the earthly realm. Nine of Cups reversed. This is, I call it death of a wish. Death of a dream. You have Three of Swords with pain and heartache. You have Eight of Wands. I talked about that. A lot of energy moving around the earthly realm. You have the Empress reverse. Which is about a feminine, nurturing energy. The shadow aspect of this feminine is coming out. She's receptive energy. This may be an indication of not leaning on your receptive energy enough, which I kind of feel like that's what this is, because Spirit is saying to have patience. Like, I feel like you're kind of like impatient with something right now. You want to see something manifested, and Spirit is saying just hold on, just wait, it's coming. The Fool card reversed. There's a resistance to like going on a new journey. Six of Pentacles. You feel like you're giving a lot to something. You may be giving a lot to something. Four of Wands reversed. There's something happening that should be celebrated that isn't, or it can be like a lack of structure. You have Four of Cups. This is about being apathetic about something. And Ten of Cups reverse. This is obviously not going to like apply to all of you, but I feel like some of you, there may be like a baby here that you're not happy about. Like, you could be pregnant right now and not be super happy about it. You might have a kid who's old enough to have babies. Like, maybe one of your kids are having a baby. You're not super happy about it for whatever reason. Like, there's like, I feel like for at least one person here, because there's a resistance of going on a new journey. I feel like for at least one person here, this is about like a baby, a pregnancy. I'm having a hard time unseeing it. There needs to be patience with something. It can't be about a baby for all of you. I can't unsee it though. So there needs to be patience. You're trying to manifest something. There's something you want. There's something that you're dreaming of that you're trying to manifest. And it's not coming in for you. And it's kind of like making you, like what Nine Cups reverse here. It's like the death of a dream. It's like your dream is kind of dying because it's taking time for this to come in. And it's heartbreaking for you. You may see it happening for a lot of people around you. That might be what the Eight of Wands is about. Maybe it's happening for a lot of people around you. And the Empress reversed, you know, like it can mean pregnancy, but it can also just mean giving birth to something, to a project. You may see a lot of people around you like doing really cool projects or being involved in really cool things. And you're like, well, when is my stuff going to pop off? Right? Because you want to go on this new journey with the Fool. We're doing Aquarius right now, by the way. But you want to go on this journey with the Fool, but you, like, there's a resistance to the new journey. So maybe you're working on something, and you're trying to get it to take off, but there seems like there's this resistance, right? And like with the Oracle card with transcending, like maybe it's saying like, there's a, like, okay, so everything has to do with energy. If we want to attract certain things into our life, we need to be sitting in a certain energetic state. And this is more so, I feel like it's more so today than it used to be in the past. Like it was in the past, but the whole earth was sitting at a lower energy in the past. Now we're shifting in energy. So it's even more so now that you really have to be in an energy that's in alignment with the thing you're trying to get. If that makes sense. Like I think I feel like in the past it used to be just kind of willy-nilly. Like there was no rhyme or reason. So and you're giving a lot to this thing. See, I think you're giving a lot of energy to this thing that you're trying to manifest. Okay, I feel like there's a card missing here. The Tower. Yeah, it's kind of devastating for you that this hasn't come in for you yet. It's devastating, but I think you're trying not to be affected. You know, and maybe this thing that you're working at was you were hoping was going to bring in like a happy family for you. Now, I'm trying to put this in a context that's not about like having an actual baby. It could be about that, except like exchange a baby for just birthing something into the world. But I do strongly feel the energy of like a baby. Let's just get one more card for clarity. We have Nine of Pentacles reverse. So Nine of Pentacles upright is about independence and building something. This may be about having to build something, or this may be about building something, like being dependent on somebody. And I don't think that's kind of in a shadowy way, right? Yeah, you got Three of Wands reverse at the back of the deck. So the Fool reverse and Three of Wands reverse is kind of the same energy. But so you may feel attached to a certain person because you're trying to get an outcome. Or you don't want to do it alone. Again, this could be about a baby situation. You don't want to, do that alone, or something that you don't want to do alone. Again, obviously, I don't know why the energy of baby is so strong to me in this reading, because I know that not everybody who listens to this reading is going to be having a baby. So just like take it as it resonates for you. But there's something that you don't want to do independent. There's something that you don't want to have to do alone, and you're kind of reluctantly doing it with somebody else. It's not really how you wanted it to go. You're not really seeing your manifestations come in the way that you want to. But Spirit is saying, don't, like, if you want to do something independently, like, don't not do it. Don't not do it independently because you don't expect your manifestations to come in, because they will eventually come in. You know, stay the course. And if you want to be attached in this situation, be attached. Like if it's healthy, if it's a healthy attachment. If you don't want to be attached in this situation, don't. Like, you're not being forced to. You'll be just fine if you don't. Right? Like, it's scary to like be a single parent raising a child, but you can do it. You know. I think that's what Spirit is saying. Have patience and keep working on the inner work, because the more you elevate your own vibration, the more you can manifest in the things that you want for yourself. So that is Aquarius. Somebody really needed to hear a message about a baby, because I was feeling that energy real strong. Okay, so we are going to do Pisces now. Maple Spirit with generosity. Moonlight enchantment with magic. So I think there's something going on in your life right now that is really magical, is really going to bring happiness and generosity to you. You have the Bluebird Spirit is number 7 card, which is it's a highly spiritual number. The number of the angels. Maple Spirit with generosity is a number 23 card. 2 plus 3 is 5. This is the number of change. You also have Moonlight enchantment with magic. It's a 7 card. So you have 2 number 7 cards. Because it's number 25 card. 2 plus 5 is 7. So I feel a lot of like helper, like guardian energy. But also here you have the Ace of Swords reverse. And I already looked at these cards a little bit, because I had to edit the video. Someone called me during the live. So I already know what these cards say. But you have Ace of Swords reverse and Page of Swords reverse. So I feel like there is like either intuition is not getting through to you, like you're not receiving the messages, or you don't like the messages that you're receiving. And because if you were aware of the messages that were coming in for you, you would be aware that there's a Tower moment. There's a Tower moment coming in for you, but there's a resistance to that Tower moment. And I think that the resistance is that you're not listening to the messages that are trying to tell you that there is a Tower moment coming in for you. You're trying to be hopeful because there's a situation that you're celebrating right now. And again, the four of Wands, well, first of all, it's about structure. It can be about structure. But it's about celebration, you know, baby showers, weddings, graduations, like those things that we celebrate in life. And I think you're trying to be hopeful about the celebration. Because, you know, I think the Tower, if you let the Tower come in, it would cause a lot of pain and heartbreak for you. And so you're not really wanting to let that come in for you. So you have Four of Wands, which is about celebration. So you're really celebrating something, you know, happy. You want to be happy physically, happy spiritually. So you're trying to like lean on happiness with the Bluebird Spirit card. You're trying to focus on happiness, which is great. But I would just say don't do that. Don't neglect your intuition coming in for you in the process of leaning on happiness, because that's not true happiness. Because I think you're overgiving to a situation with the Six of Pentacles reverse. You're overgiving to a situation. Five of Pentacles reverse, you're coming out of a feeling of lack. So you were lacking something. Maybe there's a situation, maybe you're in a relationship or some kind of situation where it was chaotic and maybe there was a little disruption in it, but you're kind of coming out of that. And so you're trying to be hopeful now. You're trying to be more balanced with the Temperance card. I'm kind of surprised this came out though, because I kind of don't think you're balanced between the physical and the spiritual. The reason why I say that is because you have the Ace of Swords reversed and the Page of Swords reversed, right? So maybe you think you're balanced. You may have a perception of yourself that you're balanced, but if you're not listening to spirit, you're not balanced, because we are divine spiritual beings who are inhabiting a human body. We're living a human existence, right? So being balanced means that we fully accept our spiritual side and fully accept our earthly side. We know the limitations of our spiritual side. We know the limitations of our earthly side. We have intentions to connect to our spiritual side. We have intentions to connect to our earthly side, right? But you want all that to be balanced. You want to be in the middle. You don't want to be too up in the clouds spiritually, because then you're going to be unbalanced with the physical. You don't want to be too worried about earthly matters, and you don't want to be too involved with earthly behaviors, because then you're going to be imbalanced with the physical. So not letting the spiritual messages come in for you, it's not being balanced. So I feel like this is how you feel you are. You feel like you're balanced, but I'm not sure that that's actually the truth. Don't shoot the messenger. So you have Ace of Cups reversed, because I think that you're celebrating, but I think actually what's coming in, well, I don't want to say what's coming in is not a blessing. And especially if we're talking about a baby, I would never say that what's coming in is not a blessing. But for sure, the situation surrounding a baby can be not a blessing sometimes. Or the situation surrounding a person that we really look up to. This topic actually came up in the Deep Dive Pisces reading, so you might want to take a look at that reading. Because there's something in your life that's not a blessing. You may be looking at it as a blessing because you're not listening to your intuition. Yeah, there's a need to go hermit mode and really try to look at this for what it is. Like I said, it's not a bad thing to lean on happiness and try to focus on happiness, but also you don't want to ignore the messages that are coming in from spirit for you. Right? So then you also have, there's a lot of cards that came out. You have Three of Cups. So there's a situation with a community a community of people who have an emotional connection with each other. There's a dysfunction in this community of people. You have Justice card. There's a need to balance out and weigh out the situation. And you have Five of Swords reversed. Five of Swords reversed is coming out of an energy of, like a shit starting energy, a chaos and conflict type energy. It's nasty energy. I would just look and see. So it's not a bad thing to come out of that energy. That's a good thing. But I would look and see at the way you're doing, because I don't think that the way you're coming out of that energy is divinely inspired. There's something that you're missing here. There's some kind of truth that's trying to come in for you, and you're not trying to listen to it. Yeah, listen to the Deep Dive Pisces reading if you want more information on this, because I just think that you may, like Pisces right now is not looking truly at situations and seeing it clearly. I think that you're kind of seeing what you want to see from situations, and that may bite you in the butt later, because you may, because even though you're kind of resisting the tower moment, I mean, sometimes you can truly dodge a tower moment, but sometimes the tower moment is coming in to really show us something that we need to see. You know what I mean? So if you don't allow that tower moment to come in, you may be missing out on a blessing, really. So yeah, that's all I can say about the Pisces reading right now. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please like this video, share this video, and subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate that. Until next time, bye. I'll be here next year. I'll be here next week at 2:00 for another Pisces, for another all signs zodiac reading. So talk to you later. Bye.